AI Brainrot is everywhere. Low-effort, prompt-generated content is filling our social media feeds with fruit falling in love, too realistic political propaganda, and a whole army of soulless cartoon characters.
You have these really weird off-the-wall characters that like no one in their right mind would have ever made these if it wasn't for AI.
The reigning king of AI Brainrot is Tung 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 Sahur, who the kids call Triple T. This personified wooden bat, created by a teenager in Indonesia, has taken the world and classrooms by storm, reaching the apex of any media property in 2026, being a playable and purchasable skin in Fortnite. But unlike other made-up characters like Goku, Godzilla, or Sabrina Carpenter, Triple T is arguably not made by a person. He was generated with a prompt and an image generator. So how did Epic Games even get the rights to put the Brainrot bat into the game? The answer involves a weird French art collective, Fortnite's devolution into a Roblox clone, and how this new wave of slop has poisoned our world. Hello, Internet. Welcome to my channel. This is Stephen A's Arch Talks. The internet got its first look at Triple T's skin in the Season 2 Showdown Fortnite trailer, alongside its sister and Cuphead knockoff Ballerina Cappuccina. The reactions were swift and angry.
What an insult to all artists. It's genuinely disgusting that Epic is doing this.
People are seething with rage over Tung 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 Sahur Fortnite.
There were also quite a few people wondering how this collab can even exist.
How TF is Tung Tung Sahur an actual IP that can be featured in Fortnite? Please don't tell me there are people profiting from it.
There are absolutely people profiting from it. At the end of the trailer, there's a copyright notice for a company called Brainrot Factory. Checking their website, you'll see a whole collection of brainrots I've never heard of, like Chimpanzini, Bananini, Garam, Araram, and Burr Patapim. I'm just as confused as you are. On the website, there are also corporate partners they've worked with, like Party City, Spirit Halloween, and Chia Pets. Other than Epic Games, I couldn't find a single released collaboration between Brainrot Factory and any of these companies. And while I was working on this video, the brand section was completely removed from their website. And below all that, it says it's powered by Mementum Lab. You may be wondering, who the hell is Mementum Lab, and why do they think they can own Triple T? First off, they are very French, and a bit pretentious. In an interview with me for an article I wrote in PC Mag last year, Mementum Lab described itself as
a collective of artists, curators, and legal researchers working at the intersection of internet culture, art theory, and intellectual property law in the age of AI. We come from contemporary and digital art, but our field of practice is broader.
To me, all of that is basically gibberish, meant to sound highbrow and intellectual without saying anything at all. What they actually do is contact the original posters of popular AI Brainrot characters and work out a deal so that they can be licensed to companies. In their eyes, Triple T's creation by Noxa SHT was
layered with meaning, edits, sound, context, and a mythology that only a human could orchestrate. The creative process involved dozens of iterations, prompts, and choices. This is authorship. This is an artwork.
I first learned about Mementum at the same time as the rest of the internet, when Triple T was removed from the Roblox game Steal a Brainrot. In mid-September 2025, Triple T suddenly vanished from the game mode where players captured and stole viral meme monsters. And the 24 million concurrent players a day noticed, spamming social media with threats against Mementum, who wrote in a TikTok post that they were just looking for the game's creator Sammy to license the character. I spoke with YouTuber Creekcraft, who covered the drama on his 17 million subscriber YouTube channel.
Before the whole copyright ordeal, Tung 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 Sahur was kind of like a C-level character. No one really cared about him. He was like Iron Man before the MCU. He was there, but not like super popular. They removed him from the game and he got taken down from like a few different games due to copyright. And suddenly everyone was like, oh my God, we want Tung 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 Sahur back. And then I think it was 77 days exactly is how long Tung Tung was gone. And then they struck a deal, and don't ask me how I know that. And he got put back in the game.
Before Fortnite, Mementum already licensed the character in multiple places, including Pudgy Party, a mobile game based on the NFT series Pudgy Penguins, and an official mobile game called Tung 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 Sahur that looks pretty bad. Outside of making deals with video game companies, Mementum has tried to move Brainrot into the world of high art. Just weeks after their Roblox scandal, Mementum had an art exhibition in Paris at the
L'Avant-Galerie Vaussin
that featured Triple T in a semi-ironic iconic art show that I can only describe as if the Dada artists of the early 20th century skipped the toilets and went straight to being internet blackpilled. It's all so pretentious. The sort of commentary on our culture you'd find from a third-year School of Visual Arts student, and not a company licensing chia pets. But it makes a bit more sense when you know the sort of people in Mementum. According to French business filings, the president of Mementum Lab is a French artist Pierre Paz, though Mementum told me his role is primarily focused on the relationship with Brainrot creators and the cultural dimensions of the project. Pierre is an artist who loves following internet hype, and described me as an internet archaeologist when I reached out for comment, though he did stop replying after that. His first big art piece involved creating a synthetic giving it to people, and then filming them at a party, turning their body movements into light sculptures. It's all very weird. After that, he really got into NFTs, launching multiple series, including ones that had virtual molecules you could combine, and another that had AI-generated crypto market graphs. Again, it's the sort of thing you'd find from a guy on Twitter who's really looking to get that next bag.
By programming. The question of the quantifiable and mathematics intertwines more than ever.
But now he's moved on to being all about the legality of AI art, and defending it on social media at all costs. In a March 4th X post, he wrote about how the global legal landscape of AI is already evolving, and how in the US, regulators are trying to define what counts as authorship. He believes that the role of the human mind needs to be redefined, and that copyright will be the last legal frameworks designed to protect the value of human creativity. I feel like Bro would have sided with Skynet if he could have licensed the Terminator, who is already in Fortnite.
I'll be back for your brainrots.
In Mementum's eyes, the original prompter owns the image and character. The machine is just the tool needed to bring the vision to life. Mementum sent me and Creekcraft a multi-page document from their lawyer, going over why Noxa owns Triple T.
Authors are vested with exclusive rights from the mere fact of the work's expression, provided that the work is original and reflect the author's intellectual contribution.
But it's a bit more complicated than just that. Here's what I wrote in PC Mag. In 2023, the US Copyright Office determined that art created for the comic book Zarya of the Dawn by AI image generator Midjourney could not be copyrighted. But in 2025, the same office issued a report that left things a bit more open-ended. So far, the Copyright Office has registered over 1,000 AI-enhanced works. And that leads us back to Fortnite, and why they'd even have to pay a French art collective for a character popular with the 6'7" crowd. Fortnite is in a weird place right now. Almost a decade ago, it was a cultural juggernaut. When I was working at Newsweek, I wrote about it almost every day, and in 2019, I even attended the Fortnite Pro-Am World Cup, where I got to stand inches away from Marshmallow and Ninja while drinking alcoholic slurp juice. But since then, its popularity has been on the decline. Fortnite's developer Epic Games recently laid off 1,000 employees, and it's really struggled to find new ways to activate the youth. They've collaborated with every intellectual property you can think of. What started with just a few Marvel characters has snowballed into literally everything. Your squad can be Will Smith, Hatsune Miku, Peter Griffin, and Buzz Lightyear. The game has transitioned from a battle royale cultural juggernaut into a Roblox clone, meant to siphon as much money out of its users as possible.
Fortnite really wants to be the next Roblox. If you took all the Brainrot games out of Fortnite, I think they'd lose like another half of their player base. A lot of people play those games, and I think the shift in prioritizing that compared to the main game has really kind of like deterred a lot of the original players. Like, I haven't played Fortnite. Like, I hopped on for Tung Tung for the meme, but like, I haven't like actually played the game in probably like 2 years or so. Like, I was a big Fortnite player, but it's like there's no real big events anymore. There's what happened to the storyline? What is the storyline now?
I booted up Fortnite for the first time in a while for this video, which is why my footage is so bad, and I tried a few of the homepage game modes. I was brought into a Steal a Brainrot clone that was throwing microtransactions at me every few seconds. This didn't feel like a video game that was supposed to be fun, but a mindless waste of time designed to siphon as much capital and resources away from me as possible. It didn't interest me, but a kid that wants to mess around with his friends as Triple T might be willing to slap down their parents' credit card, and that worries me quite a lot. I'm in my 30s, so I'm ancient by internet standards. But I remember a time online when everything wasn't a corporate cash grab that needed to be monetized. When a character or idea was made for the internet, it was collectively owned by the masses. There are thousands of memes and creepypastas online, with the most popular evolving into multimedia ecosystems with new stories, fan art, and of course more memes. Sonic.exe might have been written by one edgy teenager in 2011, but it now has a fandom wiki page longer than some presidents. this. Slender Man has at least 4 movies and a dozen games that I know of, most of which could not have existed if the creator's company had pursued licensing fees like a corporate ghoul. Corporate collaboration with internet lore can work. I'm super excited by the A24 new Backrooms movie based on a YouTube series inspired by no-clipping creepypasta. But for the most part, in 2026, when something weird goes viral online, there's a mad rush to see who can monetize it the fastest. Take, for example, Skibbity Toilet, which I just published a long feature on in Aftermath, which you should absolutely read. It started as a viral video series created by one Russian animator before it was purchased by a company founded by a former Paramount executive who turned it into a franchise with Funko Pops, costumes, and of course Fortnite skins. The community has hated this new direction, and the company has no idea how to handle the backlash. Don't worry, I'm still working on a big vid about this. It will come out eventually. I hate this trend of corporations trying to own everything so it can be licensed, but Fortnite is just playing the game. Brainrot is the current youth trend, and Epic Games are doing everything in their power to keep their game from becoming irrelevant, and the kids are just eating it all up.
In terms of like brain rot specifically, like a year or two from now, it's going to be one of those things like, hey, remember that? You know, we're entering the realm where nothing is real anymore. I thought growing up that the next generation would be extremely internet savvy and tech savvy and critical of stuff, because I grew up and it's like, don't believe anything you read on the internet immediately, but that's not the case. Kids see something on TikTok and it's, oh, this is true. That definitely happened.
This trend worries me because these kids are just eating up this content, becoming less internet savvy with each passing year. Working with AI has become the norm. There's nothing worse than receiving an email that I know was generated by ChatGPT.
We're entering this territory where like people can just generate anything. And what happens when some kid on TikTok just makes like a Superman AI series? Like, if there's 1,000 kids doing it, they're gonna go after all of them.
But not everyone is letting AI take it all over. I've seen the meme go full circle, and Triple T has now become the savior against AI slop to some. There's a whole slew of videos online of animators and meme artists showing Triple T defeating this AI monster that's taking us over. When Sora was taken offline by OpenAI because it just cost too much money, there were a bunch of fan animators who were showing Triple T and his whole army of brainrot friends defeating the corporate beast, and I absolutely love that.
Today, brain-rotted chuds worldwide mourn and celebrate the life and sacrifice of Triple T, also known as Tung 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 Sahur.
I want to see more actual innovation in this space, and less people pressing a button to create an image so that it ends up in Fortnite, and a bunch of people make skins for it and try to license it as much as possible. And I really have hope if we can see more animations and fun, and less corporate nonsense or, you know, skins in Fortnite. I will say I'm pretty much done with Fortnite after this video, though I'm not gonna lie, that Hercules skin is hitting that millennial itch for me. But anyway, that's my video. Let me know what you think in the comments, and like and subscribe if you could. All right, bye.